Marvel Studios has finally released the first trailer for Eternals, one of the Marvel Cinematic Universe (MCU) Phase 4 films released this year. Eternals was originally planned for release in November 2020. However, due to the pandemic that had forced cinemas to close for a long time during 2020, Marvel Studios decided to postpone its release to November 2021. In the Eternals trailer, you can finally see the appearance of a row of characters that will appear in the film. Despite having a human-like form, the Eternals are actually one of the types of races in the Marvel Universe that can live forever. In addition to eternal life, Eternals are also endowed with abilities that make them godlike. Number 1. First appeared in the Eternals #1 comic, July 1976. Eternals was created by legendary comic artist Jack Kirby. In 1970, Kirby left Marvel to work at DC Comics. He worked on the New Gods comic, which was first released in 1971. Unfortunately, the New Gods comic series at that time was less successful and Kirby decided to return to Marvel. At Marvel, Kirby then worked on the comic The Eternals, which introduced a new race in the Marvel world that had the same concept as the New Gods. Number 2. Marvel introduces a deaf superhero. Through the film directed by Chloe Zhao, Marvel proudly introduces a hero with a deaf condition. The first time a superhero with this condition has been presented in the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe, MCU. The character named Makari is played by Lauren Riddoff. Number 3. Becomes the first Marvel film to include a gay storyline. This one thing has caught the attention of many fans, considering that this is the first time Marvel has implemented the concept in its storyline. This seemingly formidable task was given to Brian Tyree Henry in the role of Phastos, the first gay superhero in MCU history. Haz Slayman will also play her husband. Number 4. The origin of Eternals. Eternals, or which means immortal, in the comics are told as part of human evolution created by a cosmic alien race known as the Celestials. The Eternals are depicted as a group of ancient aliens sent to Earth to become shepherds and guides of human civilization. Number 5. The Eternals and Babylonians. Babylon is a location in the Eternals universe. It is a city that in real life is one of the historical cities in the world. In the Eternals universe, Babylon is the beginning of the alien group living on Earth. Then they get to know and befriend the inhabitants of the Earth. Number 6. Eternals become Earth's protectors. When the Celestials arrived on Earth millions of years ago, they conducted experiments to create two different races, the Eternals and Deviants. Eternals and Deviants have completely opposite physiques and characteristics. Eternals can be said to be the result of a perfect Celestials experiment, while Deviants are created with an unstable genetic structure. That's why these two races don't get along and the Eternals have the task of protecting humans from the attacks of Deviants. Number 7. Thanos turns out to be a descendant of the Eternals. Thanos is the son of Ullars and Sui San. They have two children, Thanos and Eros. Unfortunately, Thanos was born with deviant syndrome, so he has a different physique from his parents and siblings. Thanos has an abnormality that makes the character greedy for power. Number 8. Power of Eternals. All members of the Eternals look like normal humans. However, they have tremendous strength and last a long time. There are significant variations in the strength of each member. Of course, they will help each other to save the Earth and humans. Some of them even put themselves on par with the strongest superheroes in the Marvel Universe. Number 9. The Eternals are said to have a long life, but they are not immortal. They are only able to last long enough before their death comes. However, if the Eternals live long, it will make it difficult for them to maintain friendship and love with other humans on Earth. Number 10. Shooting is done in a real location. If previously Marvel films mostly used green screens during shooting, this time Chloe Zhao as the director brought a big change in MCU shooting. This positive change started with the use of real locations when shooting, and minimized the use of green screens and visual effects.